All right, we are live, everyone. I just want to say thank you for anyone who may be dropping by this afternoon. If you're here for the very first time at one of our podcasts, do me a huge favor. Just type a one, like a number one in the comment. Okay. So we know you're here, so we can say thank you for being here. And we can circle back later and perhaps say thank you and answer any questions you may have. And do me a huge favor. We have friends, dropping in from all around the world now. It's pretty exciting. We started locally, but now we're growing nationally and internationally. So if you're here and you're comfortable, type in maybe the city, the country you're from, your name, and we'd be happy to say hello to you. And so on a Sunday afternoon like today, welcome, welcome. I know you could be doing anything right now, but you're here with us or you're dropping in later. Don't
Right.
forget to type a one to let us know you're here. Okay. For us, it's afternoon. For some of you, maybe it's already evening where you are.
Wait.
So thank
Yeah.
you for being here. So I have some very special guests today. So I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to keep this very, very informal today. I have some very special guests. I'm going to start with Tinu. We have Tinu, uh, um, Olasimbo. I hope I said that correct. And we have her amazing husband as well. Not that she's not amazing, right? Amazing. And Kola, you're here as well. Welcome, welcome. And then we have icon, Kayode. Welcome, welcome you guys
Thank you.
here
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you, Gordon.
on Sunday afternoon. I'm going to give you guys like 30, 60 seconds each just to share with the folks really quickly, especially my friends who don't know you.
Right.
Tell us your name and a little bit about your background before your professional designation today. Who are you? A little bit. Who are you? And what did you do before you got into what you're doing today? Tanu, I'm going to start with you. Would that be okay?
Ladies first. Eh?
Sure. My name is Tinu Olasimbo. I currently am a realtor, but I've been a business analyst in the past. I was looking for something flexible, which is why I switched to real estate. And the fact that it's such a beautiful industry, you can never go wrong with. I'm happy to be here. I hope that as time progresses and goes on, you get to know a little more about me. Sorry, it's just short notice. Sorry.
I'm going to come back to you now. Hold up. What about you? Tell us a little bit about your. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Kola Wole Info. Olasimbo. Kola is fine. Kola Olasimbo. My background actually is I'm a medical doctor from Nigeria. I came into Canada and I decided to switch careers. I have been in the automobile industry and partially in the real estate industry as well as a homeowner, as an investor, and I've actually dabbled into renovations and building development as well. But along the line, trying to do things personally and for family and friends, I got a lot involved in how to deal with the mortgage puzzle, is what I call it. And it just grew on me. At some point, I got involved in almost every family member's mortgage situation, and friends and family kept saying to me, "If you understand this so much, why don't you actually just get into it?" So at some point, my partner and brother friend Kayode came into the country and decided he was going into the real estate field. I'm like, okay, if we can form a team. My wife had also been on the real estate target for a while. Like, if we could form a team, like if we have realtors, then we must have a mortgage agents to make things work seamlessly for us. So that's kind of why I got into the idea. That's what pushed me into the idea of being a mortgage agent. So I am a
Wow,
mortgage
that's amazing.
agent.
That's amazing. We're going to come back to you, Kola, from medical doctor to mortgage agent. That's kind of pretty cool. Let's jump to Kayode for a minute. I met Kayode the same time, Kola and Tinu, I met you guys at the Century 21 gala. And the
Yes.
one thing I love about Kayode is I met him about this time a year ago. And I don't, that's it. I just met him. But he took the bulls by the horn. Whatever he did on his own, he took the bulls by the horn. As a brand new agent, he became Rookie of the Year at Century 21. And I've been working with that company for almost 10 years now. And the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm, they've now broken several agents in that company that are $1 million producers. And for Kayode to come along and be Rookie of the Year, for me, that was so humbling to be able to see him with that kind of success and still so approachable. So Kayode, welcome. Please share with us a little bit about your background as well.
Thank you very much, Gordon. My name is Kayode Adekoya. I am from Nigeria, and I moved to Canada about 2019. Yeah, I moved to Canada in 2019. Before I moved here, I used to work in a bank. I used to work with Standard Chartered Bank. I was a product manager for credit cards, and I managed a credit card portfolio for the bank in Nigeria. I launched the Standard Chartered Bank credit card in Nigeria. And in 2015, I left the bank to go off on my own. Prior to that, my dad is a civil engineer. So I got some exposure to the real estate industry through my dad because he's a builder. And that kind of gave me some, I'll say some kind of interest in that space. So when I left the bank, I set up a construction and real estate management company of my own back in Nigeria. And so I'll provide building services to people, and I'll also help facilitate the sales and leasing of property. And then when I moved here, I connected with my friend and my brother. Kola and I have known each other for over 30 years, and so we kicked off, a partnership, and both set a target for ourselves. He was going to pursue his mortgage license, and I, on the other hand, was going to get my real estate license. And so we both, got that in the bag and kicked off in the space here in Canada. And some of the comments that Gordon made about my first year in the business, I couldn't have achieved any of that success without the support of Kola and the rest of my family and friends out here in Canada. They've been very supportive. They made that happen, and that's just the truth. But going forward, we're here and looking forward to working with Gordon to even make better strides in the coming years. So thank you very much for having us, and yeah.
Wow. This is absolutely incredible. You and Kola have been friends for 30 years, right? You were saying.
Yeah.
Some people can't keep a marriage for 3 days, 3 weeks, right? Relationships for 30 years. That's like a lifetime, you guys.
Yeah. We met when we were kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are, I think of you guys are like young men, right? Young men and women, and I still think of you as kids, right? But you guys are kids, I'm telling you. You guys are so young. You have so much to look forward to in life. I want to thank Louis Martinez here watching for Niagara Falls as well. And anybody who's watching, thank you. So my special guests today, Tinu and Kola and Kayode, they are going to be embarking on a new journey where they're going to be bringing you their podcast very soon. Right, on Mindset Sunday. Look out for that, you guys, because they're gonna, whether you're an immigrant or an entrepreneur, they're here to help you make all the right moves, you guys. So don't be afraid to come and join them every Sunday afternoon. Tinu, before we go to Kola again, you're now in the real estate business.
Yes.
How do you're a mom, you're a wife, you have to you have so many things to juggle. When people talk about finding balance in your life, how do you find that balance to try to take care of everything?
I'll tell you, it's tough, Gordon. I struggle, like I'm sure every other woman out there who's a mom, who's a wife, who's in her career struggles as well. I just try to create time for myself. I sit, I. It's hard. It's hard. I can't order it up. But I do try to sit back and take time and say, you know what? Right now I want to focus on me. Right now I want to focus on the things that I love, and which is one of the things that drew me into real estate, really, because I found that it gave me an opportunity to be able to schedule my time correctly, or in a way that would suit me better. I'm able to be with my children when I want to, give time to my husband as well as help people in their search for their homes or investment properties, whatever the case may be. So it's just, I would say it's more like that works for you, which really doesn't work all the time, but just trying to pace yourself and creating time for yourself.
Wow,
So
what a great answer. Thank you so much. It's tough. Everyone talks about life balance, but it is tough, isn't it? And then Kola, what about you? Like, my wife and I, we argue about if we had to wallpaper our house, we'd probably get a divorce, right? People talk about, like, in your bathroom, your toilet paper roll, does it go over the top, under the bottom?
Yeah.
Like, how do you and Tinu, like, you guys, not only are you married, right, but you kind of like have a business. You're the mortgage agent, she's the real estate agent. How do you guys even coexist in business together?
Well, there's one thing I would say, Gordon. Make sure your life partner is not just a partner. Make sure you get married to a friend.
Wow.
Word friend deliberately, because you get to flow with your friends. If your partner is not a friend and you guys don't have a connection, you don't have that flow of being able to deal with each other outside of the actual core marriage union, then it becomes more difficult. I'm just fortunate that I was able to have selected a friend. I don't know if that answers the question. So we're able to manage things properly. We've been married for well over 10 years now.
Wow. Congratulations.
It's not a cycle that started last night. Like we've made things better amongst ourselves over time. We've got to understand each other even more on a daily basis, and we still do. We still learn, right?
Wow.
So yes, it's interesting to be able to be as partners and also be as business partners, like what it is today. But it's been interesting.
That's amazing. So having a friend is so important. So you got a friend here named Kayode.
Yes.
Right? Kayode, how does that work? You both, you and Tinu are both real estate agents.
Yeah.
So when you sell a property, how does someone like Kola able to support you with the financing or purchase for your clients?
Okay. I mean, first of all, whenever I meet a client, like, the first thing I do is I have a conversation with them around financing, because I think that's very critical to a home purchase. Without the funding, we can like or love a home all we want. But if the funding isn't available to actually buy the home, then we're simply just window shopping. So I set up a call typically with Kola, for them to have a conversation around financing. And what I like is he does a critical assessment of the client's situation, and through that we're able to determine if that client is able to purchase something. We have a clear idea of what their budget is, and that then gives me the ammunition to go out there and search for the right property for that client. and that's basically a very, very important stage of the process for me, because that way I know exactly what I'm working with, and I can rely on him 100%. When he tells me it's good to go, I know for a fact that it's good to go. So yeah, that's typically how that arrangement works.
Wow. I want to ask you this. You were in the banking industry before you came. What city were you in from Nigeria? Would you mind if I ask?
Yeah, sure. I used to live in Lagos.
Lagos. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
the
been
commercial
there.
capital of Nigeria. But you've never
I've
been. You
never.
should go.
I'm.
It's a
I'd
beautiful
love
place.
to. Yeah.
It's full of
You're going to meet.
energy.
Wednesday, you're going to meet one of my mutual friends. I think I mentioned to you, and they've been
Yeah.
talking to. I believe it's called the Bank of Industry,
Oh
right?
yeah. I know the
Over
bank.
there. So we're looking at talking about how can we come over there and help with some training for some of the folks who have borrowed from the bank. But
Nice.
you coming from the banking industry, now you are a real estate agent. I'm going to put you on the spot. Why
Okay.
would you? Why would you not just go to the bank for financing when you? Why would you go to a mortgage agent like Kola
Mortgage
versus the
agent.
bank? Wouldn't it make more sense? I'm going to ask Tinu the same question afterwards too. But Kayode, doesn't it make more sense to just go directly to the bank?
I mean, it's that's an excellent question, and I get that sometimes from clients, and they're like, I can just walk into the bank and have the bank, just assess me and see if I can get a mortgage, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a bad thing. However, now when you approach a mortgage agent, there are benefits to that you cannot get from the bank, because first of all, the mortgage agent is working on your behalf to find you the best possible deal. And because they have access to so many lenders, depending on what your financial or your personal situation is, they are able to match you to the most appropriate lender who
Wow.
would best, give you the most suitable product for you, as a client. So it's actually a lot more beneficial to approach a mortgage agent as opposed to walking straight into the bank. That's
Wow.
what I found. Yeah,
So you would prefer to work with a mortgage agent versus a bank first?
correct.
Amazing. I'm going to ask Tanu the same question. And before I introduce you to a friend of mine who joined as well, he was in the banking industry at one point as well. Is that
Right.
funny? So maybe it's Banker's Day. And this individual you're going to meet in a second as well. And he was in the banking industry. He was a police officer for 30 some odd years, retired police officer. He's
Right.
protected two United States presidents. Can you imagine? And
Wow.
governors and some pretty important individuals. And he's retired from that. And today he's the vice president of Dirt Merchant Films. And they're tying in with Hollywood and Bollywood. And when it comes to personal development and personal growth, this individual is just absolutely incredible. I'm going to have him speak as well in a few minutes, because I wanted the folks who are watching right now, and you're seeing Kayode and Tinu and Kola talk about Mindset Sunday that they're going to be hosting on a regular basis to bring value to their community, their friends, their clients. This individual that you're going to hear in a minute as well, I want you to hear his story and why he is so supportive of what you guys are doing. So before we jump to him, Tinu, I know you're married to Kola, so you're biased, right? But as a real estate agent, does it not make sense to deal with the bank first? Like, why do you deal with a mortgage broker versus a bank? I hear people say that all the time.
Funny that we speak about this topic. I used to be of that mindset as well. Just because, well, I've been here since I was a teenager, and back in the day, I've seen situations where I'd use my parents as an example. They would just walk into the bank with their documentation and they're able to get a mortgage. We never really heavily relied on mortgage agents. And so when the issue of, oh, you know what, I have an agent who can get you a mortgage started coming up, in my head, I think like, why can't I just go into the bank? It should be that easy. But to piggyback off what Kayode just mentioned, really and truly, a mortgage agent gives you more options. If you're walking into a bank, you're walking into just one institution that can or cannot help you. When you have an agent, he or she is working on your. So they're not looking at one specific space. They're looking at a broader spectrum, and so they're able to pick and marry what might work for you and what wouldn't work for you. So you have more options. That's why I would say an agent is more beneficial to you. It just gives you a better choice, more
Amazing.
options.
Amazing. And I see Kola's like, yes, go, go, right? Kola, I'm gonna come back to you, okay, in a minute. But hey, you guys, again, please help me to welcome my good friend, Chief Bailey. Lester, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, and so on in the panel with everybody that actually has some true knowledge about mindset and what goes. It's so good to see you all. How are things?
Nice to see you too.
Nice seeing you too.
It's good.
Can you hear me?
Things are good. Thank you.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Lester, in
So, Dr. Soul,
you got
go ahead.
2 minutes or less. Tell us a little bit about your background and what you do today and why mindset is so important. You're on a 2-minute time clock now.
Well, I'm that famous kid who knew nothing, did nothing, and wasn't sure what he wanted to grow up to be. We all start out in the search of imagining our lives. And I was that kid that wanted to be president of the United States. For years, I ended up working for a couple of them. I wanted to see what it was that I didn't know that I can move myself into. As Dr. So stated earlier, yes, I worked in the banking industry. I loved the banking industry. I thought that I was going to make as much money as I used to play with in the bank. Quickly, that wasn't going to be true. In the bank did something. They moved. I lived in Chicago, it was in Chicago, and it moved to New York, and it took my job with it. So I pivoted from there and I became a police officer. And years later, in becoming a police officer, I got a chance to meet different people of all walks of life and had a joyful time in doing that. As I was working on the job, I was able to meet a few people in the political arena, and I started working for them before they became who they became. And after they got the job, I was actually one of those people that was actually able to work with them and meet all the world, because some of these people were, these presidents, of course, when they went, I went. And then later on, I retired from that job, knowing that I was going to grow up to do nothing, and kept working on my entrepreneurial business and also, becoming a part of Dirt Merchant Films. And I love the film industry because I once thought of culture. I found out later I was going to work in the office, and it's more fun being the actor, see my work. So I enjoyed my short, give you that I've done, but I'm constantly working on my what to do. And Dr. So and I, of course, decided to write a nice little book for everybody, a little workbook called The Wealth Formula, 10 Keys to Success, because we know no matter what it is that you really want to do in your life, it's your setting. What is it that is in your mindset? What is it that you should concentrate on? And one of my favorite quotes is, you don't have the luxury of a negative thought. So if you don't have the luxury of a negative thought, you better work on a greater mindset. Everyone, that's my short.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lester. Thank you, Lester. I know the internet is a little bit choppy here, but thank you so much for sharing that. Look, if you guys are watching, some likes, emojis, let us know you're here. You guys are hearing Chief Bailey from Phoenix, Arizona right now, retired police officer. But we also have two amazing guests, three of them actually, Tinu and Kola, Olasimbo, they're here. And I got Kayode here as well. And they will be launching Mindset Sunday. That's going to be coming up really soon. So Tinu, this is Kola, I'm going to let, this is the first time you're meeting Chief Bailey.
Yes.
What questions would you have for him? Like if you were the host of the show right now, having someone like Chief Bailey on here right now, what questions would you have for him that you think could inspire your friends in your community?
Well, the main thing I want to hear from him is like how do you keep it up? How have you been able to like stay focused? Have you been able to manage all of this that you've experienced in life in that community? How do you keep up?
Les Brown once stated, if it has to be, if it's going to be, it has to be me. I always that, what is it that I really want in life? Sometimes, in the network marketing field, we always says, what is your why? Why do you want to keep going forward? Sometimes it's for family. Sometimes it's for friends. Sometimes it's just you actually have your own self-love. What is it that you want? And because I've always believed things are so possible, no matter what, they're possible, keep going for the possible. When people look at the word impossible, impossible is the strangest word in the world because it says, I'm possible. Spell the word out. It says, I'm possible. So if you're the person that's possible, do it. Don't give yourself a reason to say no. And I always understand that people think just because it's hard, if it were easy, you wouldn't do it. So if it's hard, it gives you something to climb for. Correct. It gives you your mind something to work for instead of that just empty space saying, I can't do it. I go back to Napoleon Hill, actually Thomas Edison, and trying to make a simple light bulb. And I think about how many times that people come to him and tell him, nope, it's impossible. You can't do it. His first 10 times, they said, you can't do it. His first 100 times, they said, you can't do it. His first 1,000 times, they said, you can't do it. So he doubled all of that up. And after 8,000 times, they said, when are you going to give up? And he kept saying, it's possible. I'm possible. He just kept pushing. Finally got to 10,000 times. 10,000 times. And he actually made what they thought was impossible. And he told time, I'm possible. I just found different ways for other products to work instead of the one I was focusing on. So don't get caught in just your own focus. Focus what everybody else is focusing on. See how you can make their product better. Just like the mortgage industry, and I love that you all are in this thing. Imagine when you first started, you said, I'll never know. And look at you now giving advice. So I hope that kind of answers your question.
Absolutely. That was amazing. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Tinu and Kayode, let's keep this really informative. What questions would you want to ask Chief Bailey?
I mean, I'll let Tinu go first.
I would like to know about situations where you've probably had obstacles that you've had to overcome, and sort of maybe experiences how you went over those obstacles. I know that we face challenges every day, and I just like to hear encouraging words on how to overcome obstacles that we might face.
Face them. That's the bottom line. When you get knocked down, I love Les Brown because nobody says it better. When you get knocked down, try to fall on your back. Because if you fall on your back, you can look up. If you can look up, you can get up. I had an opportunity, it'll be 8 years next month, where somebody tried to kill me in doing the job as a police officer. They shot at me 28 times, and they thought that was going to disturb my mind. And in actuality, it never bothered me at all because it was like, okay, what else do I have to do next? What's my next thing that I have to do? Because if you keep concentrating on your past, you can't get forward. Every time you get into your car, no matter what happened in your car, whether somebody came too close or somebody ran across the street or whatever that is, you still have to drive that car. And anytime that you sit there and start looking back, you almost hurt yourself. But if you keep going forward, you're going to go to whatever comes next. And just look at your life. It's like there's so much more in front of you than what is behind you. Get out of your own way. No matter what the situation is, how bad it is, if you're living, you have an opportunity to make that situation better. And I always look at life like that. No matter what, I may get stuck in a moment for a moment, but my yesterday has nothing to do with what my today is. That's the best answer I can give you.
Wow.
At least the moment.
You know, as I hear that story, you guys, as I hear that story, I've heard Lester told this quite a few times now. And picture this, as a police officer, right? He was shot at 28 times. Just picture like bang, 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 like 28 times. I don't think I even counted 28 just now. And I think like not a single bullet hit you. There must have been an angel watching over you that day. Does that make sense, you guys? So mindset, think of like every one of those 28 bullets as a negativity.
Exactly.
Like, you know, people fire negativities at us all day long. Like, you're not good enough, right? Gordon, you're too skinny, right? Like, you know, you want to play basketball, you're too short. Can anyone relate to that? Like, have you ever had like people fire those bullet shots at you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Kayode, like the real estate market sucks right now. Interest rates are high. People are buying, like we get all these negativity thrown at us. Can you guys relate to that?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I've got a question as well for Chief Bailey. You know, where we're from. Yeah, where we're from. When you hear when someone's addressed as chief, that's a big deal, right? It's like a big title, you know. So a lot of respect to you, sir. I'll just like to ask you a question, and this is just basically me being a bit curious, right? You had the privilege of looking after 2 U.S. presidents. I just wanted to, you know, get a sense from you how that felt when you originally got that opportunity. Like, you know, were you I wouldn't say scared, but were you nervous? Like how do you handle the pressure that came with that responsibility? Because it's a big deal, honestly, you know. So I just wanted to get a sense from you, you know, how that was.
It was really surprising because you never know where you're going to be. You never know where you're going to be. You plan for, everybody plans for their life. You know exactly what your plans are. And then somebody looks at you and they've looked at your body of work and they pick you out of so many people. So you're so honored. You're so happy because it's like, what do I do? Okay, I can't mess this up. Oh my goodness, they were thinking of me and I don't know what I did in order to get there. You start questioning yourself. But in actuality, you should have never questioned yourself because you've already put the work in. You've already done what they wanted to see. You're seeing yourself on your vision board. Okay, I want to work with such and such. You know, back to about in the book of Think and Grow Rich, where one of the guys wanted to, Mr. Barnes, to work with Thomas Edison. He sat on a porch in a chair. He's just rocking away in his chair. And all of a sudden, he says, I'm getting ready to take a trip across the other side of America. And I'm going to tell this guy, I'm going to tell him I'm going to work with him. Could you imagine somebody from America coming over to you and says, I'm going to be your business partner. And you have never seen him before. You've never heard, but he has watched your body of work forever. Somebody's watching you. So, you know, when you get this privilege to work in the industry, just be you. And I had to learn that. And you know, from the first and the second time, it was so surprising. It was so good. It's like, oh, I got out of that. I'll never do that job again. And then that job came again. So, you know, how you do it is just be the best you. That's all I can say. Be the best you.
Right.
Go ahead, Dr.
That's
Spo.
incredible. That's incredible. You know, Kayode, Tinu, and Kola, I want to put Chief Billy on the spot for a minute. He has a book that he mentions called the Wealth Formula, the 10 Keys to Success. So when you look at books like The Richest Man in Babylon, right, The Greatest Salesman with Og Mandino, or Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Acres of Diamonds, right? This man is an avid reader and he's a leader, but through accumulation of all his experiences, he's put together the 10 keys to success. So if anyone's interested in getting his book, his courses, his programs, the videos, the ongoing training and support, if you have a phone and you use WhatsApp,
Right.
see the number on the bottom, 647-765-2069. All you have to do is text the message wealth formula to that number, and it's going to send you all the information on detail. And you can go look and take a look at and check out Chief Bailey's program that has the workbook, has again the videos, all the training in there. Chief, in 60 seconds or less, what are some of the things people can expect inside the 10 keys to success?
Well, one of the things, you learn to live your desire, just like you all are doing right here. You're learning to live your desire. You sit in your chair and you're like, man, I want to do this, or I want to have that. That was a dream which became a goal, but the desire to get it done was the action to success. What was your action? You'll learn about decision making. Decision making is one of the best and worst things that we ever do, because we like to sit down and think our decisions aren't important. And we're going to show you why each decision is important. Even when you're weak in your decision making more decisions make you stronger in your decision making. I'll tell you, one of my favorite stories in there we write about is persistence. Could you imagine if you stopped doing what you want to do? You stop right now and you thought you finally made it to the top, and yet you left billions and trillions of dollars because you stopped. We have to learn out what is that thing? Why do we persist on doing that? You'll learn about affirmations, and they're good and they're bad affirmations. Affirmations that you hear from people from time to time. I can't do it. It can't get done. I believe that. And you're telling yourself that. But what happens when you believe that you are more powerful than you've ever thought? Your mind is always wanting that extra, whatever that extra is. You've wanted to push that into a higher level, and you saw yourself. We have in writing this book, it was so important because of our weaknesses. We had to learn how to build our weaknesses instead of talk about them, not use them. I remember when Dr. So came to me and he asked me something so simple. He says, would you like to write a book? My mind says, no, 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 no. My fear said, no way. You want me to write? I thought about this, and it wasn't like he gave me days and years to think. He wanted an answer while I was talking to him. So I decided to say, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. And I had to get off that street someday. Someday, sometime, somewhere, I had to leave that. So I actually started reading this book, and it's kind of hard to see because of the light that I have. This is the book he asked me to write, and it's called Empowering Women to Succeed. And please forgive me because of the light. And when he asked me to write that book, I had to tell myself, what is it that I can do? So, when you're doubting yourself, and I want you to get to a part, every time that you doubt yourself, learn to doubt your doubts.
Right.
It's okay to doubt your doubts. You're more possible, greater. You would be surprised what you can do when you just do it. Wow. Just doubt your doubts.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I guess
doubt your doubts.
Okay, that's enough. Get off your soapbox.
I love it. Doubt your doubt.
Yes.
Chief Bailey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I wanted to jump over to Kayode and Tinu and Kola for a minute. You guys are going to be doing Mindset Sunday every single week now. What inspired you to want to do this? And then I'm going to have maybe Chief Bailey ask you guys a few questions on your why for Mindset Sunday. Who would like to start? We're going to keep this really informal. Like your friends are watching right now. Some of your clients are watching. Why Mindset Sunday? Anyone?
Okay.
First.
Okay, put me on the spot today.
Yes, Tinu.
Okay.
I think we just wanted to reach out to more people, just getting the word out. Right now in this day and age, social media is the key. It's the platform to get whatever your thoughts are, whatever your desires, whatever your dreams, reaching out to people. And so we just sat down and thought, you know what? This is the industry we're in. We have a passion for helping people. We have a passion for investments. What's the best way to reach out to people and spread the word of what we have and our knowledge? And Kayode suggested, you know what, maybe we should come together and start a podcast. Maybe we should come together and share our knowledge. Maybe we should come together and, discuss our thoughts and how we are feeling. It doesn't necessarily have to be just one subject all the time, but, just sitting down and talking and sharing knowledge. And that's how I guess it came about.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Why Mindset Sunday?
Kola, you wanna add to that, or?
Well, I'm just going to piggy off what Tinu said. The funny thing is, we have actually been running podcasts in our individual homes without being live. That's the truth. Because this has been a very passionate thing for myself, for Kayode, for Tinu, my wife, and this is something we discuss every time. Anytime, every time. Anytime we're together, anytime we're with family, we have a good amount of family in Canada here. We get together a lot, and this always comes up. The real estate market, the mortgage industry, just real estate in general. So we always discuss this, and we all express our individual concerns, our passion for the industry, we've been able to gather so much knowledge, and we've just been looking for an avenue to share, right? Discuss, encourage people, educate people, enlighten people on how important it is to be in this real estate space. Like, it's a beautiful thing. You just cannot go wrong. So, like Tinu said, this was just something that over time we've always talked about. And Kayode just came up and said, you know what? In today's world, like, hey, being out there is very important. Let's share this. Let's start a podcast, right? And then you came along. Perfect timing. And we're like, well, we've been talking
timing is everything, right? Timing is everything.
We always talked about this. We never did anything about it. We just talked about it. Now Gordon is here and he says, let's go, guys. So here we are.
Yeah.
Love it.
Excellent.
And you were a medical doctor at home.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we only have about 10 minutes left. I want to talk about that another time because, my wife has a physiotherapy clinic.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's so frustrating because you have folks from other countries coming to Canada, and we need nurses, we need doctors, we need physios, and they're not allowed to practice here. Right? Because not because they're not capable of, but just because they can't. And they have to go through more, I don't know what the education process are in order to start practicing, which is kind of a shame. And you didn't let that hold you back. Your mindset didn't let you hold you back and say, oh, come on, like this is ridiculous. I could be the best medical doctor. But you found other things to be the best at. So I would love for you to talk about that another time on our podcast. Do you have a 30, 60-second comment you want to make on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to replace something you said. It's not that you cannot practice. No, how are you able to gotten still?
He is. Yeah, go on. Carry on.
Go ahead, carry on.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that, Gordon. I said, so it's more of how are you able to get into the system? It's not you can't. It's just a tedious and excuse my language, unnecessarily frustrating process for a medical doctor that is an international medical graduate to get into the system here.
Yeah.
I came in and I actually attempted to get in by getting into this series of exams and all of that. But along the line, I'm seeing it's not just about an exam or multiple exams to get into the system. I had friends, colleagues that had done excellently well in the exams and they're still in line waiting 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and they still cannot match, right? The matching happens once or twice a year, in which case you may have 5,000 doctors trying to get into 20 spots, right? What are the odds? So I had to look past that as soon as I came into the country. I'm like, okay, I'm not just going to sit here. A lot of these guys, a lot of my colleagues at that time that had finished all the exams and were just hoping to get into the system were drunks, frustrated, depressed. I'm like, I have to look past this. Like, I'm not going to sit and let this system dictate my life when I could choose a different career and still be happy. Like, I love what I do, like, and I'm kind of able to express myself. Like, being a medical doctor is here, helping people, right? Saving lives, helping people, and I'm still able to do a lot in the mortgage industry by helping people, which is what I have a passion for at the end of the day.
Yes.
So it works perfectly well for me. But what I would say is it's always good to be able to look past your challenges, right?
Yes.
Like Chief
That's
said,
amazing.
doubt your doubts. Like, don't think you
Right.
can, don't think you have to do this. You have to be fixed on just one thing when there's so many other doors that you could open. There's so many opportunities out there. So doubt your doubt and make the move. That's what I
Doubt your doubts.
doubt
Love
your-
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Love it. Hey, Kola, say that one more time. Doubt your doubts.
Doubt your doubts. You're allowed to doubt your doubts. That's what Chief said. I learned something new today.
that's an awesome, quote, man. Yeah.
Doubt your doubts.
Awesome.
Pretty powerful message.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll I'd love to, because of time, I would love for you to dive more into that,
Yeah,
deeper
we said
another
we'll
time.
talk more about that on another day. We'll have a lot of time.
Yeah,
but I'd love to
absolutely.
talk about that.
Absolutely. Coyote, what are your
Yes, sir.
thoughts? Why Mindset Sunday?
Okay, so I mean, there's a lot to reason behind it. Kola and Tinu have already highlighted some of the the key reasons behind why we decided to get together and share our thoughts with people within our community and people outside our community. The idea basically is to encourage people to develop the right mindset, right, towards life, towards investing, towards family, towards their career, towards everything really. Because if your mind is right, everything else follows. Everything else follows in the way that they should. So, and there's a famous quote that I heard from someone who said that there's never a wrong time to do the right thing, right?
Wow.
There's never a
Say
wrong
that.
time.
Say hold on. Say that again. There's never.
There's never a wrong time to do the right thing, right?
Wow.
So, I mean, if for example you've been on a particular path for some time, and you weren't aware of certain things that could help you overcome any challenges that you may have been facing on that path, and we can be a catalyst to helping you unlock those challenges and then moving forward. Why not? So the idea is to get our message out there. I mean, learn from the experiences of other people, their successes, their failures, and then allow our audience to benefit from those experiences, right? So that's the essence of us coming together to put a podcast out there. Yes, it's Mindset Sunday, but we're also coining something else. But when the time comes, we'll put it out there, and everyone will get a chance to enjoy the content that we have to share.
That's amazing. That's powerful. I'm looking forward to your first episode and your 100th episode. I can't wait to see the value you guys are bringing. Chief Bailey, thanks for dropping in. One of the reasons why I wanted Chief to be here with you guys is he has so many amazing podcasts of his own, right? And partnerships that he's created as a result. Mindology with Chantel, where they've now been to Africa, they've been to India to share mindset and mindology with folks. One time he had to miss one of our events. I'm like, you can't miss one of our monthly events. He says, well, someone just bought me a ticket. They're flying me to California to their home. His name happens to be Will, and I can't tell you that his last name is Smith, right?
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, those are the types of doors. He is so humble. Chief, as this group of young, amazing individuals embark in their new journey, what words of wisdom could you give them from your personal experience of starting up podcasting communities?
The best one is keep communicating with those, because somebody's always watching you. Somebody wants to be where you are, even though you may not believe that you're at the top. But there was a statement that was once told to me: to the world, you may be one, but to one person, you may be the world. So do your best and never give up on being the best you ever.
Right.
Wow. Thank you. And
That's
for anyone who's interested in learning more about Chief Bailey's 10 Keys to Success, visit his website or send a text to the WhatsApp number that we posted earlier, and you can get all the information from Chief. We're going to do some rapid questions and we're going to wrap up here. Tinu, what's your favorite color?
Gold.
Sorry?
Gold.
Gold. Okay. I love it. It's better than crypto? No, I'm just kidding. Kola, what's your favorite dessert?
Dessert. Well, it's ice cream. Unfortunately, I have to stay away from that more now.
Okay.
All of a sudden becoming lactose intolerant. So
Okay. All right. Kayode, what is do you have a favorite business book that you've read?
A favorite business book? It has to be Think and Grow Rich, man. It's not so much of it's not so much of a business book, but it's a life hack book. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Chief Bailey, who's your favorite motivational speaker?
Favorite motivational speaker will always be Les Brown.
Les Brown.
Les
Love
Brown,
it.
Les Brown.
Could you wrap up? Let's wrap up with this, you guys. Okay. And I know you guys are definitely going to support Tinu and Kola and Kayode's new podcast that's coming out. Please reach out to them. Okay. If you want to be a guest on their show as well. And so in terms of Les Brown, Lester, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can we end with one of your favorite poems from Les Brown on If You Want Anything Bad Enough?
Oh, I absolutely love that. So I'm gonna have to read it out for you, because even though that I know it, but some of the words are so important. So give me just a half a second here, and it's it's so powerful in saying it. Oh my goodness gracious! How my lights are going to go in my room. Well, I have to do it at the top of my head. If you want something bad enough, to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. If you gladly fret for it and what is it? Gladly
sweat for it and fret for it.
Sweat for it. I lose that one every now and then. If you gladly fret for it and sweat for it and lose all of your I've not said this in such a long time, but I believe it. If you gladly fret for it and lose all the terror for it. Yeah, I had to get that terror part in your life. I want you to go after it with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and you stern for tenacity. If neither cold of body or brain or sickness can keep you away from that thing that you want, if you're dogged and you're
if dogged and grim.
Thank you, Gordon, because I've lost that. If you're dogged and you're grilled, oh, you all forgive me for it, because I know if you're dogged and you're grim and you beseech and you beset it, with the help of God, you will get it.
There you go.
It may take a minute really because of remember. Go ahead,
it's really Gordon. It's really funny. Lester and I were in Hollywood together, and Les Brown was actually on stage, and he was receiving the Legacy Award. And he went up to do this poem that you just heard, and he's done it a billion times, right? And he started, and he messed up. And he's, I can't believe, like even Les Brown messed up on his own poem the first time around. But I love that poem, right? Like, do whatever it takes. The message is, let's just do whatever it takes to win, and we can win together. So before we wrap up, anyone have a 30-second final thought before we go? Tinu, 30 seconds, final thoughts.
We're entering a new week. It's a new week. Let's go in there positive, ready to kick every obstacle that we may encounter. I just wish everyone the best. Positive mindset, happy frame of thoughts, and share love, spread love.
Amazing. Chief Bailey, 30-second thought.
Follow your dream wherever that they may lead, and don't be distracted by less worthy needs. Shelter them, nourish them, and help them to grow. Follow your dreams no matter how deep down that they go. Follow your dreams, pursue them with haste. Life is too precious, too fleeting to waste. Be faithful, be loyal in all your life through. May the dream that you follow continue to come true.
Amazing. Kola, 30-second thoughts to finish here.
Well, it's beginning of a new week. I'm going to take Chief's words again. Doubt your doubts. Doubt your doubts.
Love it.
I love that. Doubt your doubts. Let's get that going. Like this, we're getting into the spring. Let's make things happen. We look forward to being able to talk to you guys more on our podcast, and we invite you all to support us, and we have a lot to share. We look forward to that. Thank you very much, Gordon. Thanks, Chief. Nice meeting you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
Amazing.
Thank
and
you
Kayode,
all.
30 seconds. Yeah. Kayode, 30 seconds.
I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. If you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. So it's important to get your mind right. You have to be positive. Like Chief said, nothing is impossible. Even impossible itself says, I am possible. So let's go out there and let's make things happen. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very, very happy to be with you, and we look forward to sharing our thoughts with you. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. And until next time, everybody, thank you for being here. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing